Thinking about my work, how it's evolved, there's been a number of points where I started doing something different and new that have turned into new phases of my work. I call them breakthroughs. As an artist, sitting down in your studio with materials and doing something will likely result in something happening. Continuing to do it over time, chances are that you could come up with, some new idea. Sometimes that experimenting or that taking a chance, for whatever reason, these are the things that will result in coming up with a new idea. Just the idea of making a drawing was a breakthrough for me. At some point I was traveling while I was in college, and I had a travel journal, and I started making little drawings in my journal. At one point we were in Switzerland, and we found this great spot on a stream, and I positioned myself on a flat rock in the middle of this stream, and I had my travel journal, and I was going to draw myself. And at some point in the middle of making this drawing, I made a sudden move, and my colored pencil box tipped over, and all the colored pencils except 3 went into the water and floated downstream and were gone in like the blink of an eye. And so I finished that drawing, but it's only like brown, green, and black. Maybe there was and blue, maybe. So the next day, we had such a good time in that spot that we decided to go back, but I went to the art store before we left, and I got another set of these colored pencils, went to the same spot, and I drew the same picture, but now I had all the colors. I really loved the idea of drawing the same scene 2 times in 2 different ways. There was something about that, and I started doing that more and more, and that was a breakthrough for me because I had never really drawn. When I got back home and my junior year in college started, I started drawing more and more. I had a sketchbook I would take with me sometimes. Sometimes I'd go to the museum and draw a painting that I liked. And then I drew this picture for my parents for their anniversary, which was a picture of my neighborhood. And it was a much more involved drawing than I had ever done. It was a piece of oak tag I got, sketched it out in pen, and then colored it in markers. And it was a whole picture of my whole neighborhood, the view from my house to my street, and then the whole neighborhood, the whole general area. And that took me weeks to do. And I think that was a true breakthrough for me because I had never worked on a project that took weeks to do. I felt really good about putting so much time and effort into one thing and then having this one thing to show for it. After a number of years of drawing, really started to become an obsession. Even though I was a business student, even though eventually I got into business, I continued making art every chance I got. My mother brought a good friend of hers to my apartment, and she noticed a stack of my drawings that were like all on lined paper and pieces of low quality cardboard, and I think she saw the amount of effort that was going into these drawings but realized that I wasn't using good materials, and she told me so. So I started using these wax oil crayons rather than magic markers. I found some of my early magic marker drawings have faded. Cheap materials will fade. Cheap paper will yellow. So the idea of using better materials was another step. If you're going to be serious about your art, use more serious materials. I'd been doing mostly these wax oil drawings. They were on all different subjects, whether they were landscapes or interiors or portraits or faces. Those were some of the themes that I was really doing for the most part. But at some point in about 1992, when I had my food distribution company, I wanted to come up with an idea. And I thought to myself, I'm going to put this artwork in all the stores I sell my products to. I should do it myself. And so, because it wasn't my first thought, that, oh, it would be great to do my own art on a label and then put it in lots of stores. You know, that would be a great way to start getting my work out into the world.